friend. Welcome to Born for Homeschool. Today I wanted to share with you my 2022-2023 curriculum picks for our homeschool. This year I am homeschooling a first grader, a third grader, and a sixth grader, and so I wanted to share with you the curricula that I've chosen to help us as we homeschool this year. I have a lot of things to cover, so without further ado, let's dive in. So I've organized the curriculum to share with you through subject. So we're going to start with English. I'm starting with my first grader, and to teach him reading, I am using Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. And we started this last year and he really liked it. So that's what I'm using for him to learn the letter sounds and learning to read. So to go along with his reading lessons every day, he has some letter sounds that he writes. And so I have found this dry erase. This is super simple, write on, wipe off lowercase letters, dry erase packet. And I will put links in the description box below to all of these things. Do not worry, if you're interested in something or checking it out, I will have a link for you down below. But this is a really easy, simple write on and wipe off. I just mark the pages that he's supposed to do and he writes the letters that go along with the lesson. So I have found that to be super helpful with his reading lessons. And if there's any sort of modifications that need to be made for his writing, like if he's writing a blend for his practice for the day, then it's super easy for me just to add it and let him write those for the day. So for reading for my third grader, I found this really fun, simple reading chart tracking page for a 100 book challenge, and I found this on Pinterest. She loves coloring. This is going to be right up her alley for tracking her reading as she practices reading every day. My sixth grader, for reading, I have a book list of books that I want her to read this year, and then she's keeping track of all of the books that she's reading, not just the assigned ones. And so she uses an app on my phone that is called Library Thing, and that is an app that she uses to just track throughout the year. She just literally scans the barcode of the book and it keeps track of the books that she's reading. At the end of the year, then we just print out the list or write it off of the app. And it's super easy. It's something that she can do and she can keep track of, and I have loved it. But if you have any suggestions as far as keeping track of books, if you have any apps or anything that you guys do for keeping track, leave me a comment below. I'm always on the hunt for a better way to keep track of her reading. So I'd love to hear your thoughts or ideas. So still in English after reading is writing, and this year my third grader is doing writing with this IEW Bible Heroes, and I absolutely love this curriculum. I did it with my oldest daughter when she was in second grade, and I waited another year for my second daughter, and she has done so well at it. I was really a little bit hesitant and nervous. I wasn't sure if it would be too advanced or require too much writing. So far, she has done really well. It's just the right sweet spot of fun and challenging. And so she has done really well. I'm really glad that I started this year for her. My sixth grader is doing, for writing this year, is doing ancient history-based writing lessons. Also, IEW, again, I love IEW's curriculum. It has just been a really excellent framework for teaching my kids how to write. And so I really, really enjoy it and highly recommend this. In fact, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a video reviewing this curriculum and kind of showing how it works at some point this year. So be on the lookout for that if that's something that you're interested in. And that is writing for this year. Next we have spelling for the girls. Christiana, my oldest, in sixth grade, I ordered this Evan Moore. She did the Evan Moore fifth grade last year, did really well. It was something super easy that she could do on her own. She enjoyed the puzzles and games that is incorporated throughout the week. So when she tested in third grade for spelling, I knew that it was something that she struggled with. And so her standardized testing just confirmed that it was not her strongest subject. And so I decided that over the next couple of years, I was going to work specifically on spelling with her. And she tested at the end of last year, and she scored so high on spelling. So it's really just taking that focus and making sure that that was really a consistent part of our homeschool really benefited her for spelling. And I thought the Evan Moore was a super easy and simple way to get that in for our homeschool. So that has been really good for her. My third grader is just continuing on with Explode the Code. I did order the Evan Moore third grade for her, and I looked it over and I flipped through it, and it really just seemed to be a little bit too much work for her. She's already going to be writing in history, and she's writing in some of her language arts stuff she's writing in, and she's writing in her Institute for Excellence, the IEW. She's doing a writing curriculum. And so I thought that adding spelling for her this year would be too much for her. So we are sticking with Explode the Code. She absolutely loves Explode the Code. It has been so good for her. She does about 3 pages a day, and this is where we're at for right now. We're actually like halfway through this book several weeks into school. So that's what we're doing for my third grader for spelling for this year. So next is grammar to finish up our English, and we have first language lessons 2 for my daughter in third grade. She started this last year, and we're just finishing up the book. And I specifically didn't want to move on to level 3 this year. And so once we got halfway through this book last year, I kind of slowed down because I wanted to have this year to finish up this book to really solidify a lot of the concepts and to continue to practice on it. Next year, the level 3 has a workbook where you do writing and diagramming and different things like that. And so I didn't want my third grader to be doing that this year. And so we kind of slowed down last year, and she's finishing up this level 2 for the third grade. So for my 6th grader, she is finishing up the level 4 first language lessons. It's also something that she started, I believe, 2 years ago. And so we're just continuing to work through this. We do several lessons a week, but with writing and all the other grammar practice that she's getting through history and geography and things like that, then I just wanted to go a little bit slower to work through the grammar side of things. And so we're finishing up this book, the level 4 for her this coming year. So that's all we're doing for English, for reading, writing, spelling, and grammar. And next is math. Last year, I did a video that is exclusively for the math curriculum that we use. It's talking about Saxon math and just the format of it. I'll put a link to that video if you're interested in the description box below. But I'll just quickly show this year in math. My first grader is working through his first grade book. He's finishing that up for this year. And my third grader has had a little bit left of Math 2 to finish up from last year. And so we're wrapping that up, and then we'll move on to Math 3. And then last year, my 6th grader started this math book. She got about halfway done last year, which was the plan. And so the plan is for her to finish this up this coming school year. And so last year I shared how I was changing things up and slowing down the Saxon math for her. And I think it worked really well for last year, but we are speeding back up. She's doing a complete lesson all the way through every school day this year. And so that has been really good. That means that she's going to finish with this book about halfway through the school year. So we will revisit what we're doing for math. We'll probably just move on to the next level and pick up where she leaves off. But this is what she's finishing up for this 6th grade year. So our next subject is social studies, and social studies is Bible, history, geography, and civics. And so for Bible this year, we are literally just reading the Bible. Either myself or my husband will read a chapter to the kids. And then also for Bible this year, we are doing something that is so fun. It's something that I've kind of thought of doing the last few years, something that I wanted to do, but I wasn't quite sure how to do it. I wanted to study heroes of the faith. And so I received a DVD of the Torchlighters, Heroes of the Faith, for free. It was something that the Voice of the Martyrs was giving out last year to families, and a friend sent me the information about it, and I submitted my information and waited several weeks, and they just sent it to me for free. So I got 2 more workbooks and decided that we would do it this coming school year. And I wasn't quite sure how it would work out, but it has been fantastic. So there are pages to go with the heroes. So the first hero is Jim Elliot, and it's been several weeks since we started this, and we're still on Jim Elliot. But I have several books just from our own personal library about Jim Elliot, but I chose one of them and started reading his story to the kids. And so while I'm reading, they are working on the activity pages in the book. And it has been wonderful to share these stories together and to meet these incredible people and to hear about their lives and what they have done. And so that has been a really fun addition to our homeschool this year. And at the end of the study, then we'll probably watch the cartoon animation of his life. So that is a really fun addition to our Bible studies for our homeschool this year. So next is history. And last year we started the Mystery of History for the first time. And we didn't get super far into it, so this year we just picked up where we left off with volume 1, and we will probably get it all finished and then move on to volume 2 later in the school year. But we have loved Mystery of History. It has been a tremendous history book for us. We really have enjoyed this curriculum for history. So we have modified it a little bit to fit our family needs. We read the lesson or listen to it, the audio version of the lesson, and then the kids write a summary. And by the kids, I mean the girls. Write a summary, and we fill in our timeline charts for the book. And that's pretty much, we're not doing a lot of extra activities or things like that. It's just going through the lessons. And it has been so wonderful and so simple, and just a really great way for us to do history for the year. So as far as geography goes this year, we are doing geography through our Mystery of History curriculum, and we're also doing geography with the Torchlighters, and we'll be able to study the different places that the missionaries go and things like that. So our geography focus is through Torchlighters and Mystery of History this school year. As far as civics go for our social studies this year, I'm planning to do a unit study right around the time that we're doing our elections here. So that's something that we will dive into and probably do a unit study for in a few weeks. So next is science. This is the science book that we started last year. We got a few lessons into it, and it was amazing. There was so much to unpack in just the first few lessons, so we didn't get very far last year, but we loved it. We loved the topic of it, and we also just love the way that it's written. And so we will continue through the science for this coming year. And some of my kids are also doing science in our co-op, which is totally fine and has been really good for them. Also with our science this year, I am planning to do a horse unit study. My oldest daughter absolutely loves horses, and so I purchased some things that we will be doing for the unit study And I will do a whole video on the unit study once I put it together and show all of the resources that we use. But some of the things that I'm really excited about using is this Barry Stebbings art for the wonderful art of drawing horses. I'm really excited about this. And I also got this 4D vision of a horse. And we have one of these 4D cats that my kids take apart and put together and have learned all of the different parts of. And I think that this one of the horse is going to be a really fun addition to that unit study. So be on the lookout for that eventually here in the school year sometime. As far as health and safety and phys ed, and there's a lot of subjects that we use books for that we will pull from our personal library, and we will go to the library to supplement. So these books are the bulk of what we are going to be using for our homeschool curriculum this year. There are a few others that I wanted to share. For manners, we are doing Connoisseur Kids. This is an amazing book. If you saw my video last year, we started this in our homeschool with our morning basket last year. This is something that we will continue this year. It's wonderful. We are also doing poetry through Shades of Green. This is my absolute favorite poetry book that I've come across so far. We also do random other poetry throughout our homeschool, but I love just reading the poems from this one. And then we will also be learning different hymns throughout the year. So manners, poetry, and hymns are also going to be a part of our homeschool this year. So I hope this gives you an idea as far as what we're using for our curriculum. So we also have things that I have planned for our homeschool. That is a huge part of our homeschool. That's not a curriculum per se. We have piano lessons that we are doing. We do a homeschool meetup twice a month. We do a homeschool co-op once a week. My kids are also a part of the children's choir and the bells choir at our church. We're also going to be doing field trips, and my girls are a part of a Christmas play here in our local area. So you guys, there is so much happening this coming homeschool year. I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about all the things that we're learning and the relationships that we're building together. And I am so grateful for all of these resources that I have been able to use for our homeschool this coming year. If you have any questions about a specific curriculum that we're using, be sure to leave it in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Born for Homeschool for more tips and tricks, information, and encouragement to simply support your homeschool. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.